Allen Iverson made a career out of having one of the most deadly crossovers the NBA has ever seen and probably ever will see. He's crossed over everyone throughout his career, including the GOAT as a 19-year-old kid, and created legendary moments that we all remember to this day. There wasn't a man alive that Iverson couldn't cross, but it wasn't always that way. You might think that AI spent his whole life perfecting his killer crossover, or learned it from a really young age, but in both cases you'd be wrong. So we're gonna look at where he really learned his deadly crossover, and one of the most unstoppable moves in NBA history. And it might surprise you to find out that he didn't learn it until he was in college, and it was taught to him by a walk-on at Georgetown University named Dean Barry. They were teammates, and through scrimmages and practices, AI noticed that Dean had a crossover that he just couldn't stop. No matter how many times it happened, and even if he knew it was coming, he just couldn't stop it. Iverson was way quicker and more athletic, and then he'd tell himself every time not to go for the fake, but then every time he fell for it and Dean Barry just flew right past him. And with AI being a cocky guy, it took a lot for him to build up and to go ask Barry how he actually did the move. But finally he put his pride to the side and he told him he had to show him that move. So Dean Barry told him that he had been studying everyone's crossover throughout the years, and he used small pieces from each of theirs and made it his own. So they stayed together every day after practice for the rest of the season until Iverson perfected it. Iverson would go on to make it his own and use it throughout the rest of his career. It was a hesitation crossover that was extremely effective. It always looked like he was going one way, but by the time the defender positioned himself to defend it, Iverson was crossing back the other way. But there was a lot of people that say it was only so effective because every crossover he did, he was palming the ball or it was a carrying violation, which is defined as any time during a dribble that the ball comes to rest because the player's hand is too far down the side of the ball. And the move actually got something known as the Iverson Rule put into place that cracked down on carrying, and it was called nearly every time Iverson did the move after that. It was in effect for 2 months during the preseason before the players got the rule overturned, because that's how a lot of other players did the moves, and because without the rule, it made the game more marketable and exciting. Since then, carrying violations haven't really been called in the NBA unless they're just too obvious to be ignored. One guy that couldn't get over this though was Tim Hardaway. In a 2017 interview, Tim said Allen Iverson carried the basketball every single time. I had the original killer crossover and people are doing my move, not Iverson's. He was definitely getting a little jealous that Iverson had a way more popular crossover than his own. Even though they were both really effective, and Tim's was the one that was actually following the rules, you could tell he was pretty jealous. But when asked about Hardaway's comments, AI simply responded by saying, "Yeah, I carried my crossover all the way to the Hall of Fame." But there you have it. Iverson in a way eliminated the carrying rule from the NBA by using his deadly crossover that he learned from a college walk-on. If you enjoyed this short video and want to hear about where other players learn their legendary unstoppable moves, definitely comment down below and let me know. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and I'll catch you next video.